ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now we are in the discussion about electron transport system. We have done non-cyclic electron transport system for the last class very clearly. Guys, non-cyclic electron transport system is very important. And we have previous questions on non-cyclic electron transport system. Don't imagine that it's somewhat like very big like Z schemes drawn from this corner to that corner. One second guys, excuse me. Sorry guys, let's continue. Don't ever imagine that we have drawn Z scheme from one corner to that corner, so big it is. Guys, don't worry, if you can practice with the step by step, bit by bit, non-cyclic electron transport system, bit to bit, step to step slowly if you can understand, that becomes the most very easiest one and most easiest one. And definitely any corner of the question you can answer. So make sure that you practice that on a white paper number of times so that you can remember thoroughly that diagram in your mind. So when we take the electron transport system, so electron transport system is very important in photosynthesis. Electron transport system is very important in photosystem here. So when we take here, we have two categories. Now, so guys, let us continue with this. Now if you take electron transport system, this is a very important concept. Why? Because in electron transport system we have what is called as ATP synthesis. In electron transport system, finally what happens is nothing but ATP synthesis. Dark lo kanpichademo sir, I think. So when you take this electron transport system, we find what is called ATP synthesis. Now here we have two types. Electron transport system we have two types. What are they? Non-cyclic electron transport system and other one is a cyclic electron transport system. What are the two types here? Non-cyclic electron transport system and then cyclic electron transport system. Now when we take non-cyclic electron transport system, itself is called as Z scheme. Itself is also referred as Z scheme. This is what we completed discussion for the last class, and let us have cyclic electron transport system. Now, so what you have understood in non-cyclic electron transport system, there is a ATP synthesis and NADPH synthesis. Very important. Why? Because these two are nothing but what? Source of energy. These two are nothing but what? Source of energy. Very important. What we have discussed for the last class is a non-cyclic electron transport system. Itself is called as a Z scheme. Now what happens in this? There is a ATP synthesis, NADPH synthesis. Both will act as the source of energy. So for the light reaction, electron transport system where we are discussing? We are discussing under a light reaction. Why? Because at the end of light reaction, what are produced means these two. How they are produced means by this. What are they means non-cyclic and cyclic electron transport system. So when you take this electron transport system, we understood that electrons are keep moving from one substance to other substance. We completed non-cyclic this and finally we got ATP and NADPH, right? Now let us go with the next one. What we have is nothing but a cyclic electron transport system. So if you take cyclic electron transport system, guys, again I will give you the differences between a non-cyclic and cyclic later. But presently what is the main difference here? In this case we have only ATP synthesis and no NADPH synthesis. What is the main difference here? In case of non-cyclic electron transport system, there is a synthesis of both ATP as well as NADPH. But coming to cyclic electron transport system, there is a synthesis of only ATP synthesis, no NADPH synthesis. We find only ATP synthesis and no NADPH synthesis. Guys, before we talk about the cyclic electron transport system, in your mind you need to have very clear difference between a non-cyclic electron transport system with the cyclic electron transport system. Okay. So, here in non-cyclic electron transport system, these two are very important. Coming to cyclic, the most important point what you have to remember in cyclic. So, whenever the concept you are reading cyclic electron transport system anywhere in the textbook or in any other material when you are reading, immediately one important point should strike in your mind. What is that? There is only ATP synthesis, no NADPH, only ATP synthesis occurs in cyclic, no NADPH. This is the basic and the most important difference between non-cyclic and cyclic. Okay, but both will come under electron transport system. Both are involved in ATP synthesis. Non-cyclic electron transport system also involved in ATP, cyclic also involved in ATP synthesis, and both will come under what? A light reaction. And later we will study very clearly the differences between non-cyclic and cyclic. But before that you need to remember this is as the basic and very important difference between a non-cyclic and cyclic. Right guys, so we completed non-cyclic electron transport system. Now let us continue with cyclic electron transport system. Let us continue with the second type. Even cyclic electron transport system is also very important. Now let us study about cyclic electron transport system. It was given by the scientist Frankel. Who is the scientist who studied about non-cyclic electron transport system? You remember Bendall and Robert Hill, right? Similarly, whenever the question arises about the scientist of discovery, who discovered a cyclic electron transport system, means remember Frankel is the scientist, is the scientist name. Now he discovered in chromatophores of the bacteria, that is nothing but a Rhodospirillum. Very important. Okay, so this all important points whatever you have to remember guys, that are being presented here with the star marks, right? So guys, the scientist is Frankel. Where he discovered cyclic electron transport means in the chromatophores of Rhodospirillum. Rhodospirillum, guys, when I give the example of Rhodospirillum, can you recollect it where we studied Rhodospirillum? Could you able to recollect it? Rhodospirillum studied in which part of first year? Could you able to recollect it? Yes. In case of biological classification, we classified bacteria into two categories. You remember autotrophs, heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are further divided into photoheterotrophs and chemoheterotrophs. Photoautotrophs, chemoautotrophs. And second category heterotrophs are divided into photoheterotrophs and chemoheterotrophs. Did you remember? Right. Under these two categories, if you can remember, Rhodospirillum studied as an example where? In which category? Yeah, you need to recollect it because that is very important. First year part if you study like that then and there, and if you leave it and if you do not remember about the first year part, especially the place where we need something to remember and to recollect it, if you are unable to recollect it means you are not perfect with that particular first year chapter. If you could able to recollect it, yes I have studied some point about Rhodospirillum and that is this point, if you could able to tell me in your mind, you are perfect with that particular first year chapter. So guys, I am telling you, wherever the concepts are related to first year, once again just open the books, turn back. I am not giving you the answer here. If I give you the answer, you will not turn up your notebooks, you will not take out your notebooks. Simply will not turn on your notebooks, right. So you got the question and you got the answer, you leave it. So, I am not telling you it is an example for what category, but I gave 4 options. Rhodospirillum is an example for what? First option photoautotrophs, second option chemoautotrophs, third option photoheterotrophs, and next option is chemoheterotrophs. Is an example for what? Find out. If you can remember, it is well and good, and if you do not remember, make sure that you take out biological classification running notes of first year. Check you yourself and try to remember all 4 categories, all examples, practice once again. So, that particular part you will become perfect with the first year concept. Similarly, what is meant by chromatophores? You remember even chromatophores we studied in cytology. See, everywhere first year basics are coming, first year concepts are related concepts arising in second year. This is related to biological classification, the second chapter of first year, and this is related to cytology of first year. Guys, in cytology we studied about chromatophores. What are chromatophores? You know, invaginations of cell membrane. Lamellar type, tubular type, micellar type, you remember, right? So, tubular, lamellar, you remember all the shapes. So, the invaginations of the cell membrane called mesosomes. But especially if you look at, in case of, if you take cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, right, what happens? Those invaginations of mesosomes contain pigments. So, pigment containing invaginations of cell membrane called as chromatophores. For this answer I gave, what is chromatophore definition I gave, because you have to remember this. But what is Rhodospirillum example for what I am not given, make sure that you have to recollect it. Do not forget, see that it is an example for what. Now come back to the concept. Rhodospirillum, in Rhodospirillum bacteria people have studied about a cyclic electron transport system, where means chromatophores of Rhodospirillum. Right. Now, if you look at in this, what are the important things which I told you here, which I have to tell you here? Electrons moves in circle manner, not like zigzag manner or Z scheme. Okay. So, if you take, one second. So, if you take electrons will move in a circle pathway. That is why it is called as cyclic electron transport system. Alright guys, and apart from this, here if you look at, as I told you, only ATP synthesis, meaning only ATP will undergo synthesis here, and again I am writing no NADPH synthesis. This is also, these 2 points are very important. And other important one is here, no photolysis of water, no photolysis of water, or no splitting of water, and no oxygen evolving complex. What is OEC? Oxygen evolving complex. OEC, oxygen evolving complex, no OEC. So, here we say no splitting of water. When there is no splitting of water, no oxygen evolving complex, and even there is no NADPH oxidoreductase enzyme. There is no NADPH oxidoreductase enzymes. Okay, so these all are absent. So, we are writing no here, but here also no, these all are absent, will not occur in cyclic, only what occurs is nothing but ATP synthesis. Very important for all of us to remember. Right. So, here when you look at here, electron transport system also generates ATP. So, we get ATP in electron transport system. Now, what happens here? The ATP which is produced from electron transport system, ATP is utilized for chloroplast activities and as well as utilized for Calvin cycle. Very important. So, the energy what is being synthesized called ATP here through cyclic electron transport system, what produced here, it is nothing but ATP. ATP what is generated from cyclic electron transport system, it act as additional source of energy, for what? For chloroplast. What we have written? For chloroplast. So, here if you look at chloroplast here, you know the chloroplast, this is the chloroplast. Now, here actually ATP what is generated, it is an additional source of energy, means whenever it is required more ATP needed for chloroplast activities, at that time it will try to operate cyclic electron transport system. As a result, you can see the more production of what is called ATP. So, ATP generated from cyclic electron transport system utilized for chloroplast activity and Kelvin cycle. What is Kelvin cycle? We are going to discuss in the coming classes Kelvin cycle. Kelvin cycle get operated in the stroma of chloroplast. Try to remember, Kelvin cycle gets operated in the stroma, that is dark reaction. What happens? What is Kelvin cycle? Where carbon dioxide reduced to form sugars. Carbon dioxide is reduced to form sugars. The synthesis of sugar in the photosynthesis itself is nothing but what we call Kelvin cycle. So, the ATP which is generated from cycle utilized for chloroplast activities as well as for Kelvin cycle. So, ATP act as additional source of energy. Okay. So, what is Kelvin cycle? We will continue with the next class. Kelvin cycle in which carbon dioxide reduced to form sugars. Right? Yeah. Guys, so I hope you have understood the introduction about cyclic electron transport system. What is that? Scientist is Frankel. Where is discovered means chromatophores of rhodospirillum. Electrons move in circle pathway, not like non-cyclic, not like Z scheme, and here only ATP, no NADPH. No splitting of water and no release of oxygen, that means there is no oxygen evolving complex, and even there is no enzyme called no NADPH oxidoreductase enzyme. This enzyme does not participate in cyclic electron transport system. Why? Because no NADPH synthesis. Right, these things are clear, right? And cyclic electron transport system act as a additional source of energy for chloroplast activities and for Kelvin cycle. Now, let us discuss about what is cyclic electron transport system. Right guys, let us continue about cyclic electron transport system. Remember cyclic electron transport system, it starts with PS1. So, here we can take PS1, photosystem 1 itself is called P700. So, here chlorophyll A itself act as a reaction center. Okay. So, here photosystem 1 participates in a cyclic electron transport system, and here what is that wavelength of absorption of light? 700 nanometers wavelength of absorption of light when it is absorbed by chlorophyll A. When it is absorbed by chlorophyll A act as reaction center, and that chlorophyll A, when it absorbs 700 nanometers wavelength of light, itself is called photosystem 1, itself is called P700. Right. So, remember all of you, cyclic electron transport system starts with photosystem 1, it starts with photosystem 1. So, here it will undergo excited state. So, how it will undergo excited state? How it will undergo excited state here? So, here with the wavelength of absorption of light So even it absorbs sunlight. From the sunlight it absorbs photons, and when sunlight falls on the photosystem 1, definitely it reflects at the same time, sunlight reflects at the same time PS1 reaches to excited state. So excited state of PS1 itself we call P700 star. One star is enough to remember. Now it got excited. So by taking sunlight, with the absorption of sunlight of 700 nanometers wavelength, it got excited. Now you can see excited state of PS1. Okay. So this excited state of PS1 here, it slowly enters into the next one component. What is that component? Cytochrome B6. What is that component? Cytochrome B6. Right. From cytochrome B6 it enters into the next compound, which we all of you know it very well. So it enters into the compound called as plastoquinone. It enters into an important component called as plastoquinone. From the plastoquinone here it enters into what you call iron sulfur complex. From there enters into cytochrome F complex, and then into PC, that is, what is PC? Plastocyanin, and then again enters back into PS1. Guys, if you can see, can you understand this becomes the part of non-cyclic? Yes, definitely. So sometimes at the end of non-cyclic converts back into cyclic. So when you talk about purely cyclic electron transport system, try to understand here PS1 with the absorption of sunlight, photons are measured in terms of quantums. We studied, right, 8 photons, 8 quantums are needed for one production of one oxygen. We studied in red drop, right, Emerson enhancement effect. So when sunlight is absorbed by PS1 get excited, so it becomes excited state of photosystem 1. From there, so what is moving here? Same thing, each electron, moving one electron carries 2 protons. Okay, one electron carries 2 protons. So when electron is here, it is moving, absorption of electron is nothing but oxidized, and losing electron is nothing but getting reduced. Enters into a cytochrome B6 higher energy level, cytochrome B6 lower energy level. From there enters into plastoquinone. So what happens in case of plastoquinone? All of you know it very well. Plastoquinone, it get reduced to plastoquinone, it get reduced into a semi-plastoquinone. What is this compound? A semi-plastoquinone. Right, again losing electron, it again converts back into plastoquinone. So what happens here? The incoming electron carries 2 protons are deposited here. The incoming electron comes here and drops the 2 protons and goes back. This is what we call it as a quinone cycle. This is what we call it as a quinone cycle. Right. So 2 protons released and electron goes back here, electrons comes out here, but 2 protons are not sufficient to produce ATP. But here if you look at, there is only one quinone cycle, very important. Guys, if you can recollect it, what we have discussed about non-cyclic electron transport system, I repeated number of times for the last class. In quinone cycle gets operated 2 times and there is a production of 2 ATPs. Did you remember? Quinone cycle gets operated 2 times and there is a production of what? 2 ATP. Here in case of cyclic electron transport system, remember there is only one quinone cycle, only one electron, it produces 2 protons. Then what happens here? 2 protons are not sufficient. So again from stroma, it will get 2 more protons, it will get from stroma. Right, altogether 4 protons. In this, 3 protons are contributed for conversion of, I hope this part is visible, right guys, I will check it out once because this part is very important. Yeah, yes guys, up to here it is visible, so better I am writing here itself, I am writing. So what happens here is, ADP plus inorganic phosphorus gets converted into ATP. Just excuse me guys, 1 second. Okay, so here ADP plus inorganic phosphorus just converts into what is called ATP. ADP plus inorganic phosphorus converts into, it's nothing but ATP. So guys, let's continue here. ADP plus inorganic phosphorus produced into ATP with utilization of how many protons? With utilizing how many protons? 3 protons. So using 3 protons, ADP plus inorganic phosphorus converts into ATP, and how many ATP molecules? It was only 1 ATP molecule. It was only 1 ATP molecule. So here there is only 1 quinone cycle. From cytochrome B6 electron is coming here, enters into plastoquinone. From plastoquinone electron moves into semi-plastoquinone, that is semi-plastoquinone. So again from semi-plastoquinone electron comes back into plastoquinone and comes out by by giving 2 protons here. But 2 protons are not sufficient to produce the ATP. So what is happening? From stroma it is taking 2 protons here. 2 protons are added from where? From the stroma. Very important to remember. So 2 plus 2, 4 protons will be there. Out of the 4 protons, 3 protons are utilized for the synthesis of 1 molecule of ATP, that is ADP plus inorganic phosphorus. ADP plus inorganic phosphorus converts and is involved in synthesis of 1 molecule of ATP. So what are the important things you know about quinone cycle? But the thing is, you have to remember, 1 quinone cycle produces 1 ATP, as usual getting 2 protons from the stroma. So only one time there is an operation of quinone cycle, as a result it produces only 1 molecule of ATP, right. Then after that electron comes out, enters into iron sulfur complex, it enters into iron sulfur complex, and from there again electron enters into cytochrome F complex. So here to here what do you call? Cytochrome B6F complex. What we call? Cytochrome B6F complex. From there the electron enters into plastocyanine, as usual again comes back to PS1. So electron starts from PS1 and then comes back to PS1. That is why it's called as what? Cyclic electron transport system. What do we call? It's called cyclic electron transport system. So guys, I'll repeat once again, quickly I'll revise it, just listen carefully. It starts with PS1, where chlorophyll A acts as reaction center. It absorbs 700 nanometers wavelength of light, it receives from the sunlight, where photons are absorbed, and it is measured in terms of quantums, same like photosystem what we have discussed, light falls and strikes, right. So here from PS1 it enters into excited state, PS1 itself P700 excited state we call. From there electron will enter into cytochrome B6. Each electron carries 2 protons, so we say cytochrome B6 we say. From there electron enters into plastoquinone. From the plastoquinone electron becomes semi-plastoquinone, again electron goes back to plastoquinone. What do you call this? This is called 1 quinone cycle. What do you call this? 1 quinone cycle. Who is coming? 1 electron. 1 electron contributes how many protons? 2 protons. So here when you take 2 protons are not sufficient to produce the ATP. It will take 2 more protons from the stroma. Altogether how many it becomes? 4 protons. Out of the 3 protons are utilized for conversion of ADP into inorganic phosphorus into 1 molecule of ATP. So here 1 quinone cycle, 1 ATP molecule, and 2 protons as usual it takes from stroma. Then it completes 1 quinone cycle. Electron enters into iron sulfur complex. As usual enters into cytochrome F complex. From here to here it is called cytochrome B6F complex, and then electron enters into plastocyanin and then enters back into PS1. This is nothing but what do we call cyclic electron transport system. So let us continue further, guys. So when you take this, exactly this part comes where? Exactly this part comes where? Now if you look at, again I will draw and show what is called a non-cyclic electron transport system. A non-cyclic electron transport system. What did we study in non-cyclic electron transport system? So you know that first one is PS2. Yes, so it absorbs and takes the sunlight. So there is a splitting of water. So altogether 4 protons and 4 electrons and oxygen. Oxygen is evolved here, and then here it will enter into excited state of PS2, or we take P star mark 680. Yes or no here, right? So when you take PS2 or P680, non-cyclic electron transport system, guys, I am just giving you besides cyclic once again quickly about non-cyclic. Why? Because sometimes non-cyclic get converted back into cyclic. Now listen carefully, both the systems I am putting in front of you side by side. See very clear differences, because immediately after this we are going to discuss very clearly the difference between cyclic and non-cyclic. At that time you people should able to tell me, you should tell me what are the differences between non-cyclic and cyclic. So I am just putting you one beside other. So let us have the comparison, right? And here it starts with PS2, but it starts with PS1. Yes or no? And here splitting of water is there, here no splitting of water. Here oxygen evolving complex is there, no oxygen evolving complex. Guys, clearly see the differences between non-cyclic and cyclic. Don't worry, again I will write again very clearly, but see the cycles very clearly. I will start again. It starts with non-cyclic electron transport system starts with PS2, and cyclic starts with PS1. Here splitting of water is there, but here no splitting of water. Here oxygen is released, oxygen evolving complex is there, where these two occur in non-cyclic. Splitting of water occurs in non-cyclic, and these two are absent in cyclic electron transport system, right? Then it will one electron here also carries 2 protons and excited state. So from here to here, when it comes to here, what happens? Plastoquinone. So here of course pheophytene, plastoquinone, yes or no? And from the plastoquinone, here it enters into something like cytochrome B6, cytochrome F complex, yeah, iron sulfur complex from this plastocyanin, right, PC plastocyanin, and then PS1, right. So when it comes here, how many quinone cycles in PQ here? Here it operates from the plastoquinone, it becomes semi-plastoquinone, so it operates 2 cycles. So here altogether there are 2 quinone cycles. I am writing Q. Q means quinone, right? There are 2 quinone cycles. Very important. How many quinone cycles? 2 quinone cycles. But here only 1 quinone cycle, right? So here if you take 2 quinone cycles, totally how many protons are contributed? 2 electrons here. 2 electrons contribute 4 protons. But still not sufficient. So from the stroma again it is taking the 2 protons. Altogether how many protons? 2 protons are being contributed by stroma. How many protons are participated? 6 protons. 2 quinone cycles takes the help of 6 protons. How many electrons participate? 2 electrons. Guys, listen carefully. Why? Because questions will come. The ratio of, sometimes they will question you, every bit is very important. Sometimes you will get the question that ratio of number of electrons participate in cyclic electron transport in a quinone cycle to the number of electrons participate in non-cyclic. 1:2. Why? Because cyclic is only 1 electrons, contributes only 2 protons, But here in non-cyclic, 2 electrons, because 2 quinone cycles contributes protons. Sometimes the ratio of protons between in quinone cycle from cyclic to non-cyclic, here 2 protons altogether, here 4 protons, same 1:2. Ratio between number of quinone cycles between cyclic and non-cyclic, only 1 quinone cycle, but here 2 quinone cycles. Number of ATP produced, or the ratio of, I am not going to give you the questions guys, when you are listening the class you note down in your notebook. Okay, the ratio of number of ATPs produced from cyclic to non-cyclic. Here as 1 quinone cycle, 1 ATP, but here how many ATPs? 2 ATPs. Guys, clearly make out the differences between cyclic and non-cyclic in your mind. Very, very, very important. Here 1 ATP, here 2 ATPs, right? Finally comes to where? PS1. Finally comes to PS1. So from PS1, it enters into where? If PS1 becomes excited state, PS1 means P700 and P700 will become excited state. Visible, sir, this part. So this from here, from where here? From here it enters into unknown compound called as Fx, F0, Fx, Fa or Fb up to ferredoxine. Did you remember? So here Fa and so Fb, Fa or Fb, ferredoxine. Did you remember? So then NADP converts into NADPH. Did you remember? Yes. So in non-cyclic, NADPH2 is produced, but NADPH2 is absent in case of cyclic. NADP oxidoreductase enzyme is present in non-cyclic, absent in case of cyclic electron transport system. So I have drawn non-cyclic once again, not simply just for comparison. Guys, comparison is very, very important. Along with the comparison, I have drawn once again to tell you very important one point. What is that one point? This non-cyclic electron transport system, it synthesizes 2 ATP. When it is come to PS1 excited state, listen carefully. Sometimes what happens, from PS1, after entering F0, ferredoxine, immediately it converts into a cyclic electron transport system. Very, very important. Guys, I repeat the point. Sometimes non-cyclic electron transport system, after quinone cycle, after synthesis of ATP, after coming to PS1, sometimes it converts from PS1. It becomes what? Cyclic. Can you see now? From PS1 it starts, PS1 get excited, PS1 goes to where? Cytochrome B6, and from here to plastoquinone, and B6 then into plastoquinone, from the plastoquinone cytochrome F, iron sulfur, plastocyanine, and then enters into PS1. What do you call this? What do you call this? What do you call this? This is cyclic, nothing but same. So starts with PS1, cytochrome B6, plastoquinone, iron sulfur, F, PC, and comes back to PS1. See here, non-cyclic sometimes stops and it will not synthesize NADPH. Sometimes non-cyclic converts into cyclic. It rotates here only. PS1 to PS1 goes to B6. Cytochrome B6 goes to plastoquinone, comes to cytochrome F, iron sulfur, plastocyanine, PS1 again goes. Here it synthesizes only, in plastoquinone it synthesizes only 1 ATP. When it will happen? Suppose the cell in the metabolism, suppose it does not require NADPH and requires only ATP for its metabolic activities, then it makes the cyclic to operate number of times. It stops the non-cyclic at the end and converts into cyclic. So what is the important point? Non-cyclic gets converted into a cyclic electron transport system. Very, very, very important. As per the requirement of the cell, a non-cyclic electron transport system can be converted into a cyclic electron transport system. Guys, I think you have understood very clearly here. So, when you have taken here, very importantly, so you need to have the clear differences between cyclic and non-cyclic. Okay, so when you look at here, you have to take one white paper. Even though you have studied number of times non-cyclic for the last class, what you have to do is take one white paper, draw again cyclic, draw again non-cyclic. At every step, try to make out the differences. At every step, try to make out the differences. So, what are the differences? See each step, try to differences, and main important differences: 1 quinone cycle, here 4 protons, 2 electrons, 1 ATP. Here 2 quinone cycles, 2 electrons, 4 protons and altogether 6 protons, 2 ATP. In both cases stroma is giving 2 here, here also stroma is giving 2 to the ATP, and stroma also gives 2 protons to NADP. That we are not going to take the count. Of course, that happens in non-cyclic, was not happen in cyclic. See in every step where are the exact differences, then we can make clear differences between cyclic and non-cyclic electron transport system. Here again I am telling you, questions will come. Ratio between ATP, ratio between electrons, ratio between protons, ratio between NADPH, here 0, there 1. Right. So, you need to remember every step of clear difference between cyclic electron transport system and non-cyclic electron transport system.